Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1732B, and today's date is December 4th, 2018, and the title of the episode is Typos Are Deliberate. Is this the team around POTUS? Watch, you will see. Now, before I get started, we all know the deep state, they're going to be fighting back, but we don't know exactly the next move of the deep state. And I just want to say one of the best devices you can invest for your home protection is a flashlight, the Patriot flashlight. Why is it the best? Never waste money on batteries again. It's solar powered. Life-saving emergency strobe light, emergency siren. Let others know you're in danger. Charge your phone anywhere. It has a compass, rope, wire cutter, and glass breaking hammer. Patriot flashlight is the perfect holiday gift for you and your family. Take advantage and give the gift of protection to your loved ones this holiday season. Use the code X20 and receive 20% off the Patriot flashlight. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, we know that everything is about to change. Everything has been set up, everything has been put into place, and we're going to see everything completely change, and the entire system, the central bank, the deep state, those people who committed treason, crimes, and everything else. I know people still don't believe this. They will be brought to justice. It might not be in the time frame in your head, because many people have certain expectations of when it should or should not happen. And remember, you're not looking at what they're looking at. You're not working behind the scenes. You're not putting all of this together and investigating, making sure you have the proper evidence. Remember, this is not propaganda. This is not something the deep state is putting out there and saying, oh, okay, something just happened, we know exactly who did it. This is about making sure these individuals can't weasel out of this. Look what Comey just did. Look what the deep state just did on December 5th, where all of a sudden we're having this funeral for George H.W. Bush. And there were a lot of people that were supposed to testify. Comey wanted to be completely transparent. He tried to weasel out of that with the subpoena. Remember, there's still a force on the other side. So when people say, oh, look, there's a delay. Oh, look, nothing's happening. Yes, there's still a force. They're still going to fight back. They're not just going to lay down and say, oh, what? You want to bring us to trial? You want to send us to Guantanamo? No problem. Put me in handcuffs. No, they're going to stall. They're going to fight back, but guess what? The Patriots in control. Because even though they stalled, Comey is still going to testify behind closed doors. And senators have more than 5 minutes. They're going to ask him classified information. They're going to get these answers. So everything is in motion. Everything is happening. Take the expectations out of your mind of why isn't this happening. Instead, say, wow, everything is happening, and they're making sure that none of these individuals can weasel out of this, because they're going to try. Oh, are they going to try? Now let's start off with what is happening with the House GOP members, because during the 2018 midterm elections, it looks like members of the House GOP, they suffered a major hack during the 2018 elections. Now, the email accounts for 4 senior aides at the National Republican Congressional Committee were surveilled for several months. The intrusion was detected in April by an NRCC vendor who alerted the committee and its cybersecurity contractor. An internal investigation was initiated and the FBI was alerted to the attack. But those people that were being cyber attacked, hacked into, they weren't told. So the hack was concealed from senior House Republicans, including Paul Ryan, who was Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, Steve Scalise. They had absolutely no clue in what was going on. Why not? They said, well, we didn't want to hurt the investigation. That seems a little strange to me. Looks like something was going on here. And we'll have to see if anything comes out of this. Now, Grassley wrote a letter to Horowitz questioning the FBI raid on the whistleblower. And that would be Dennis Nathan Kane. So the letter went as follows. A recent news report has indicated that the FBI raided the home of a whistleblower, Mr. Dennis Nathan Kane, who provided documents regarding the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One transaction to your office. The report also notes that after receiving the documents, you provided them to the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. It appears, based on the reporting, that these documents were provided to your office under the Intelligence Community Whistleblower Protection Act. Further, it appears that the documents pertain to matters that fall within the committee's jurisdiction and matters upon which this committee has inquired. Accordingly, I request that you produce all documents to the committee and provide an update with respect to the steps you have taken or plan to take regarding the FBI's treatment of Mr. Kane's disclosure no later than December 12, 2018. So right now, Grassley wants the original documents. Now, there are questions on who really pushed this raid. People are saying, well, the Clintons did it because they wanted to get the original documents. Others are saying that Horowitz did this because they wanted the original documents. This way, the Clintons couldn't destroy the originals and say, oh, the copies were changed, that was changed, and they would have a way to weasel their way out of this. So once again, we can see that Grassley is asking for all this from Horowitz, and hopefully Horowitz does have this. We see Trump is out there. He is praising Mexico's new president after the migrant deal, and Trump saying that we're going to be working together for many years to come. And Trump wants the wall built. He actually tweeted out and said, could someone please explain to the Democrats, we need their votes, that our country losses. Now, he made a misspelling here, and a lot of these misspellings are deliberate. We'll have to wait to see if this one is. That our country losses $250 billion a year on illegal immigration, not including the terrible drug flow. Top border security, including a wall, is $25 billion. Pays for itself in 2 months. Get it done. Now, Trump continually says this wall is going to pay for itself. And remember, Trump wants the wall, we all want the wall, to stop drug trafficking, which is the CIA, human trafficking, which is the CIA, the elite, the deep state, and the agenda of pushing the illegals up to the border and pushing them into this country illegally. And this is done by Soros, the deep state, and everyone else. So there's a reason for the wall. Now, just out of the justice.gov, there was a Colombian national who was sentenced to 180 months in prison for his role in a scheme to smuggle illegal aliens from Colombia into the United States, which resulted in rape of one of the death of 2 Cuban nationals. So right now, there are reasons why this needs to be done. Because we know the deep state, they continually push their agenda. And it's amazing how they're still balking on this wall, because Congress, the deep state, all these individuals who are saying, no, we don't want this, go back a couple of years ago, they were talking about illegal immigration, that we needed a wall. They also have no problem spending trillions of dollars in the Middle East, killing innocent people to push regime change. And I've said this many times before. A lot of these individuals in government, they're completely corrupt. This is going to be a reset of not just the economic system, a reset of everything. Now, it looks like Macron, he has blinked. The people were protesting allegedly for fuel tax hike, which Q has been saying that this is not the real reason. They're called the yellow vests, and it looks like the French president, Macron, has decided to suspend the tax for a couple of months. How many months? 6 months. Guess what? The yellow vests rejected this completely and said, this is ridiculous. You're going to suspend it for 6 months? Nope, the protests go on. And guess what? Now we have ambulance drivers that have joined the protest, and the protests are intensifying. So this is not over just yet, and the people are speaking up. Let's see Macron's next move. We see out in Yemen, we see peace talks that are scheduled to start on Wednesday. Now, unlike previous efforts, there's a reason to believe that everyone is going to attend this meeting and engage in discussion. Now, the Houthi delegation, they are en route right now with UN Special Envoy Martin Griffiths. And we can see that others are starting to come into the fold, and they're all going to the peace talks. And I believe that eventually in Yemen, coming up very, very soon, we are going to see peace. Now, remember, the deep state, they were bombing, using Saudi Arabia to bomb people of Yemen because they threw out the puppet regime. Yemen did not invade Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia actually started the war in Yemen. The deep state pushed Saudi Arabia to do this. They were hitting women, children, infrastructure, just like they did in Lebanon, Libya, Syria, to push the people to the edge so they would accept the puppet regime. But the Houthis, they fought back. And now we can see with Trump in power that this war is coming to an end. The war in Syria is coming to an end. The war in Iraq, Libya, all coming to an end. And we will see troops come home. Everything is winding down right now. Now, Q dropped a lot more breadcrumbs here, posts. And I want to go back to post 2527. This was on December 2nd. And Q talked about think waves, the number 17, satellites were knocked out, forced new class tech online, and the sharper edge, and many others at Corticon, at Melis Strategic, at M2 Madness, at The Speaker 2018. They started to think about what Q was saying here about the number 17, about satellites, about the waves. And yesterday we pointed towards National Geographic with seismic waves. And this is what they put together. And I'm just going to read it to you. 11/11/18, 17, the shot heard around the world. White squall. The Great Awakening. What do these code numbers and phrases have in common? The answer might shock you. Let's take a look at Q's post 1234 for a moment. Responding to an Annan on April 21st, Q posted this: Annan, thank Q. We are an existential threat to the establishment. Trusting the plan. Q, America will be unified again, 11/11/18. Yet 11/11/18 came and went, and many were discouraged or confused since unity didn't occur just as they had expected. What they didn't realize was something did occur on 11/11/18, something very unexpected. On 11/11/18, strange seismic waves rippled around the world, leaving scientists bewildered. This unnatural mystery waveform was a crisp zigzag, which repeated after steady 17-second intervals. So 11/11/18, 17, interesting. Let's move on. The worldwide seismic activity on 11/11/18 was emanating about 15 miles off the shores of Mayotte, a tiny island in the Indian Ocean between Madagascar and Africa. A closer look at this island reveals an interesting triangular-shaped underwater anomaly. So, on December 2nd, Q posted 2527, confirmed the strange seismic event that occurred on 11/11/18, stating think waves worldwide, define unified, 17 sat, knocked out, forced new class tech, online by who, controlled moment activated, 17. So many questions. What satellite? What new tech? And how did this event unify people? One thing for certain, this shot heard around the world rung the planet like a bell, perhaps even like the bell from the movie White Squall. That's very interesting. And we'll get into that in just a minute. So let me continue. This is coming from Melissa Strategic. Also, I was speculating with an Annan about CERN connection. Just not sure how to prove that, but it does look like the new tech that was turned on is a communication function by scalar fields ringing the earth like a bell. So when you think about this, you see that this might be connected to CERN. So she went on to say, just figured out the 1111 seismic wave event. Wow, the White House took out SAT, forced on black hat tech, rang Earth like a bell in waves of 17. Oh my. Then POTUS tweets, let's entertain some of these Annan theories for a moment, shall we? Is it possible that the satellite that the Q team knocked out on 11/11/18 was connected to CERN? Here's where it gets even deeper. While working on a separate project decoding now see at MES THEP at in 23, an interesting connection was made. Take a look. Notice how THEP stands out in this code, almost as though it's an acronym for something. That's THEP, Theoretical High Energy Physics. Guess what? That is being done in CERN. So there are quite a few Q posts and Twitter threads that cover the topic of DNA manipulation to suppress humanity. So they're thinking about the number 23 here and CERN, what they were up to. And it looks like this has to do with how many chromosomes do people have. In humans, each cell normally contains about 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46. 22 of these pairs, called autosomes, look the same in both males and females. The 23 paired, the sex chromosomes differ between males and females. Females have 2 copies of the X chromosome, while males have one X and one Y. Then Sharper Image added the following. What if I told you this is about DNA? What if I told you we have everything? What if I told you we never lose anything? What is hot 1 to 12? Is this a reference to the 12 strands of DNA? What is 335 DNA? We have more than we know. Have POTUS and Q signaled us on how we can restore our DNA to its origins? This thread right now will explain QAnon Post 522 and how real Donald Trump wants to save the world from genetic corruption. After understanding Post 522, it will unlock many other Q posts. Here's a theory. Was STEP from CERN used in conjunction with a satellite to suppress our DNA and mental awareness, as well as to agitate mankind in order to create disharmony among us? Did white hats take the capability offline and therefore usher in a mass great awakening? It happens. CERN is closing for maintenance, perfect cover, at the end of this year. CERN's accelerators will be shut down for a major 2-year upgrade program that will result in a renovated accelerator complex using more intense beams and higher energy. 11/11/18, 17, the shot heard around the world. White Squall Bell. The Great Awakening, all rolled into one singular event. You realize what this means, don't you? The world is about to change. Q. So this is one theory of what happened with the shot around the world, with the number 17, with the number 23, and the theory about the satellites and what they were really used for. Let's move on to post 2543. Q put up the art of trolling the fake news media, step 1. Gave a link to Trump's Twitter. And this says his wife and father-in-law, who has the money, off scot-free, and spelled it S-C-O-T-T capital S, free, F-R-E-E. He lied for his outcome and should, in my opinion, serve a full and complete sentence. Step number 2. Q gave us a link to people.com. And this article explains the misspelling that Trump made and tries to explain away what he really meant. And they said, who is scot-free? Well, that's completely not on track here because they're trying to explain something which they don't understand. Step 3 is Wikipedia, and it points to Scot-Free Productions. This is the production company that made the movie White Squall. What is that movie? Well, this is where we go one, we go all. So, step one, Trump tweets out something, and there might be a misspelling. It could be confusing or ambiguous, and to most it seems like it's saying nothing. So the mainstream media makes fun of it, and they try to figure out what he's really trying to say. So in his tweet, it's scot-free. So they're trying to make sense of all this. Step two, then POTUS waits to see how the fake news reacts. Then they write an article to explain what Trump actually meant. Then Q steps in, and boom, Q says, okay, here's what Trump actually meant, and gives us the breadcrumbs. So this is how Trump trolls the media. Post 2544. Q gave a link to the White Squall 1996 movie trailer. And this is where the "where we go one, we go all" came from. And Q does mention this in other posts. In post 1602, Q mentioned White Squall to let us know this is where it all came from. Post 2545. I don't believe Q in this post is talking to us. I believe he's talking to that SWAT individual that was in the Broward Sheriff's office, where he was wearing that Q patch where he met with Pence. And it looks like he was reprimanded and reassigned right now. So Q put up 2 links to the Secret Service and 1 to FBI jobs. And under it, it says, if you decide to change careers, your name has been entered to be fast-tracked. So it looks like they went ahead and the Broward Sheriff's Office decided to reprimand this individual. And this individual is Sergeant Matthew Patton, a 27-year veteran of the Sheriff's Office. His wife actually tweeted out, Carrie, "This is my husband, 26 years on SWAT, 31 years in the agencies, 4 life-saving awards, multiple commendations, 2 gold crosses, Unit of the Year, SWAT Operator of the Year in 2016, hostage rescued, and 0 disciplinary action in his personal folder in 31 years of service." She continued, "BSO, that's the Broward Sheriff's Office, you're now associated with the violent right-wing extremist group. Meanwhile, thousands of Q followers are saying they are praying for Matt and supporting him. Oh my, such a violent group. SMH, we are extreme all right, extreme for America. Where we go one, we go all." So Q is saying, listen, if you're not happy there, we've already fast-tracked you. You'll have a job in the Secret Service or FBI. Post 2546. And Anon asks a question to Q. Okay, is the plot moving forward? I think we all understand the characters in conflict at this point. Time for the plot twist. D-class, finally. Q answered. The President of the United States initiated and confirmed the order when he stated the calm before the storm. When was the statement made? Well, the President initiated and confirmed the order on October 5th, 2017, with his statement, the calm before the storm. Take a listen.
You know what this represents? Well, maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm is
We have the world's great military people in this room, I will tell you that. And we're going to have a great evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Give us a hint on your decision.
Thank you, everybody.
Let me continue now. When did Q go active? This was on October 28th, 2017. Watch the news, watch the FBI, watch the Department of Justice. So if we go back to the first post on October 28th, 2017, which is actually 23 days delta between POTUS and Q. And if we go back to that post where it has 11, 11, 18, 17, and 23, it all ties into that. Back then, for the first post on October 28, 2017, it had to do with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, the morning, October 30th, 2017. And Annan put that up there. Q responded, Hillary Rodham Clinton extradition already in motion effective yesterday, with several countries in case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged effective 10:30, 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the U.S. to occur. U.S. Ms will conduct the operation while NGs activated. Proof check. Locate a NG member and ask if activated for duty. 10:30 across most major cities. National Guard. So right now, Q is telling us that all this started with post number 1, and they're going after Hillary Clinton. They're investigating. Every step has been taken to trap all these individuals. Now, when you watched Trump say the calm before the storm, and the reporters were asking, when is the storm coming? What is the storm? What are you talking about? He says, you will find out. He also mentioned that he was surrounded by great military personnel. Now, the question is, this is when he made the announcement. All these military personnel are surrounding him. Is this the Q team? Could be. And if you watch his hand, it looks like he makes the Q symbol. Let's move on to post 2547. Fox execs pulled 3 scheduled guests. Focus 41. Now remember, Q told us that they were going to have individuals on with Hannity, and these were going to be whistleblowers. But instead, the executives of Fox decided to say, you know what, we're pulling this, and we're going to show George H.W. Bush. Now remember, the deep state, they still have power. They are stalling. They're trying to regroup. They're trying to get themselves out of this. It's completely impossible. Remember, the individuals, these whistleblowers, were coming forward to talk about the Clinton Foundation. What Q is telling us is that everything has been done to trap these individuals. If you look, all they can do right now is stall for time, and that's getting harder and harder. If you notice, we haven't seen any real events lately. We might still see one. I'm not saying we're not going to, because they will become so desperate that they'll have to pull the biggest event that they've ever done to try to stop all of this. But the thing that we need to understand is that they are trapped. Everything is about to change. The world is about to change. And these individuals, they have no place to run. Their stall tactics, their events, it's all coming to an end. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.